I'm sure it's nothing you don't like.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Plazo here today, guys, and today we're doing another top 6 video. In this top 6, we're going to be talking about the best card for each faction that's either a common or a basic. So I think it's a pretty fun video. Just keep in mind, before we start going over these cards, that the cards that I picked is just my opinion. So, you know, some people may agree, some people may disagree. And keep in mind, the cards that I picked are also very, very good for both generals. There are some basics and commons that are very good for one general and not the other one. So just keep that in mind, that all these cards I feel like are good with both generals. But nonetheless, let's hop into it and let's start out with line art. Alrighty guys, so our first common that we are going to talk about is Scintilla. Now I picked this card for the line art best card common in the faction, and the reason I did that is because this card works very well with Healnar. It made Healnar a S rank deck. In my opinion, this card in Trinity Oath push Zeron over the edge. And also it works very well with Argion because it gives you that health back if you want to play aggressive with him. And if you Bloodborne spell onto the Scintilla, it turns into a 5/4, which is still pretty powerful. Now, Linear is very hard to choose from. Linear has a lot of really good early game with Silverguard Knight. They have Windblade Add Up. They have Lion. You know, all these very good cards. But I just feel like Scintilla with its Blood Surge is probably the most helpful out of all of them. If I had to pick a card to play out of all of those, it'd probably be Scintilla. Because if I want to play Zeron, it pushes the deck over the edge. And if I want to play like an Argion deck, this gives me so much health in that deck, it's not even funny. And, you know, it just has so much upside. If you're playing line or you're not running Scintilla, I don't know what you're doing. But that's just my opinion, you know. That's why I think Scintilla's over the top, you know. Has really good stats as a 3/4 body for 3 mana is very nice as well. That way it can't get Phoenix fired in one hit. It can't get pinged off. It doesn't have like 1 health, you know. That it's a really solid card for line art. And this is the best card in line art at the moment as a common. But anyways, let's move on to our next card, and I think we're going to be doing, we're going to do Songguy. Alrighty boys, so the second card I picked is Inner Focus. Now I picked Inner Focus for Songguy because I feel like Inner Focus gives you so much value in the long run. You know, Inner Focus can pull off plays that, you know, some other cards can't do just because it lets your minion attack again, and it costs 0 mana, so it's giving you good tempo. In the long run, this card can OTK you with the right cards in hand and the right minion on the field. So, you know, Inner Focus is a force to be reckoned with. It's ran in every single Songguy deck since the beginning of time. You know, Inner Focus is just that damn good. I wish I had this in line art. I wish so much I had this card in line art. You know, this would be nuts. That's why I'm very excited for the rainbow mode that's coming. I forget the actual name for it, continuous draft or something like that, where there's like cross drafting, so I can draft line art and pick up Songguy cards like Inner Focus. Could you imagine this on like, imagine this on like Silverguard Knights? Ugh, I just wish I had this. Please give it to me. But anyway, Inner Focus is a good card. Definitely the best in Songguy. I think that's hands down, everyone would agree Inner Focus is the best common in Songguy. I don't even think it's common, I think it's basic. But yeah, definitely run this card if you're running Songguy. But anyways, on to the next card. We're going to be talking about Vaynar next. Alrighty guys, so first off, let me apologize because the chromatic code here, which is obviously the card I picked, the background of it, it wouldn't go away. I don't know, there's something wrong with it. This is what we got, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Anyways, though, so the card I picked for Vaynar is Chromatic Cold. This was the easiest pick ever. This card is the bane to my existence when I play Vaynar. They always have this in their hand. It's such a damn good card. I wish I had it for Linar. I wish I had it for Abyssian. Chromatic Cold is just a damn good card, you know. This card's ran. Like I said, all the other cards so far, it's ran in every deck. Every single deck runs all 3 copies of this. If you're not running 3 copies of this, you know, I don't know what you're doing when you're playing Vaynar. This card lets you dispel something and possibly destroy it. You don't even have to run this for the dispel. You can run it just because it deals 2 damage to the general or a minion, sorry. So you could, like, end game if someone's running, they got 4 health left, you know, you're playing Fae, Bloodborne spell, hit them with Chromatic Cold. There's the win. This card dispels a space and not a minion, which is great because you can dispel spaces, you know? The fact that it lets you dispel space is great because it lets you dispel things like Mechazor, which are an issue normally, but since you're not targeting Mechazor, you're targeting space, Chromatic Hold gives you so much value for 2 mana, you know? Damage plus dispelling for 2 mana is just so damn good. Chromatic Hold is definitely the best common, hands down, in Vaynar. I don't know, I can't even think of anything that tops this nowadays. You know, Concealing Shroud, or is that a rare? I think Concealing Shroud's a rare, I'm pretty sure. Chromatic Hold is, it's too damn good. Too damn good. Let's move on to our next card. Alrighty, boys, for our next faction we're going to talk about, we're going to be talking about Magmar. Now, Magmar was actually pretty difficult to pick the best common or basic, you know. I had 2 of them that were tied, and that was Natural Selection and Young Silithar. And in the end, I went with Young Silithar because I feel like Young Silithar is ran in more decks than Natural Selection is. There are some decks that don't run Natural Selection, but I feel like Young Silithar is ran as an early 2-drop in, like, almost all Magmar decks run Young Silithar. You know, this card, the fact that it has Rebirth and it has a very strong body for 3 mana, or not for 2 mana, for 3 body, sorry, it gives you such a great minion. And this card can come back and you could just keep hitting them with it, hitting them with it, hitting them with it until they get rid of the egg. So this card gives you great value on the field. It takes care of a lot of early game minions. It makes your opponent have to, like, take a turn out to kill this and kill off the egg, you know? Young Silithar is a great minion. Great minion. Probably the best Rebirth minion there is. I feel like Rebirth, no one would even play Rebirth if it wasn't for Young Silithar. I feel like you wouldn't even see egg minions at all. Like, even if you're not running Rebirth, if Young Silithar didn't have Rebirth, because it's, you know, not a very strong archetype right now. But Young Silithar is a great 2-drop minion. Probably the best early game minion in Magmar. Probably always will be. But yeah, that's why Young Silithar is the best. But anyways, let's keep moving on. Alrighty, boys. I'm pretty sure everyone in the comments below, if you guessed your picks before I did this video, is going to pick Falcius as the best common or basic in Vitruvian. Now, Falcius is very good with every kind of Vitruvian deck you can think of. Its opening gambit is so strong. You know, Falcius is a strong body as well. 3 mana, 3/3, which is very strong as well. It's very fair statted minion for its mana cost, and its opening gambit is super strong. This card is ran in every Xerix deck, every Saj deck. Saj with this is insane, you know. Saj can put on, you know, some artifacts and not take damage that turn and let you destroy some minions, you know, because you played Falcius. One of my favorite things to do with Falcius is if I'm playing another Vitruvian deck, I like to throw down Falcius and somehow destroy the Armara Healer and take no damage from it, you know. Falcius is that damn good, and I feel like Falcius, since this card came out, is a staple, and probably will be a staple for a long time in every Vitruvian deck. This card is a powerhouse. Its opening gambit is so helpful in the long run. You know, Falcius is no jokes, man, no jokes. Probably, like I said, going to be a staple in Vitruvian for a long time. But anyways, let's move on. Let's keep going. Hey boys, so our last faction we're talking about is Abyssian. Now, Abyssian has some really good commons in their faction, but I feel like the best one is Demonic Lore. Demonic Lore has so much versatility to the card, and it's so helpful in the long run that I think this is just hands down has to be the best common for Abyssian. Every single Abyssian deck I have at least 2 copies of this card in it. The fact that you can deal 1 damage to an enemy minion sometimes kills minions, or, you know, you can just throw stuff to the other side of the battlefield with it and then, you know, hit it with the additional punish, which is 2 mana, and just punish it off. Demonic Lore is a very good card, you know. In the long run, this card can win you games. You know, think about that Ironcliff Guardian that's Divine Bond, or they Divine Bonded it, and it's in your face. You throw this out the way into the other corner, you know, sometimes that gives you that little bit of time to draw that spec rev that you need, or, you know, sometimes you can just get the win if your opponent's time behind it with like 2 health. You just whip it out the way and hit them with your general. You know, I'd use this card to my advantage a lot, and I feel like when I started, I thought Demonic Lore was like my favorite card, and, you know, it still is a really good card. It's not my favorite card no more, but it's just a very good card. It's very good utility, and I feel like It's so nice to have a card in your deck that costs one less. If you think of like Repulsor Beast, Repulsor Beast has the same ability. This costs one less, and it deals 1 damage. You know, so this is a great card that only Abyssinian has, and Abyssinian users use this card a lot. You know, if you're an Abyssinian main, you're probably running this in almost all your Abyssinian decks. But anyways, guys, that's going to be my top 6 list. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, leave the video a thumbs up and comment down below, like I said, let me know your top 6, and maybe we can agree, maybe we can disagree. You know, we'll talk about some cards in the future if you guys are interested. But as always, I'm your boy Colazo. I hope you guys keep on dueling, and I will see you guys next time.